Late summer is a beautiful time to explore wetlands because many wetland flowers bloom then. Many of them are pretty in pink, and we're going to see if we can find a couple here on the boardwalk at Leidig Bog Nature Preserve in St. Joseph County. Many of them, as I mentioned, are pink and they are perfect for pollinators. I guess this segment is all about the letter P. And one of the first ones that we are going to find is Joe Pyeweed. So here, actually in some partly shady areas of the wetland, is Joe Pyeweed. It's really tall, and you'll notice it has kind of flat-topped pink clusters. Those high-rising plants with flat-topped clusters are really convenient for pollinators to land on. It gives them a good surface area, and they have abundant pollen and nectar for insects, but as well, they also produce seeds later in the season, which is great for birds that winter over in our area. There are a couple of different species of Joe Pyeweed that are native in our area. They all have those like whorled, many of them have whorled leaves. In other words, from the center stem, all the leaves come out in a circular pattern. And this species has a purple stem, and that's how it gets its name, sometimes called purple Joe Pyeweed, or sometimes it's called spotted Joe Pyeweed. So many different common names. I often get all mixed up, but a beautiful, beautiful pollinating plant. Hey, and while we're right here and we're on the letter P, for a purple plant in this case, there's some verbena, and that verbena is also great for pollinators. Here's another patch of Joe Pyeweed that's getting a little bit more sun, and what I often notice for these big, tall, showy plants is if they're in the sun, they tend to attract quite a few more insects at the time. Insects, of course, are ectothermic, meaning they have to generate their own body heat, and so being in the sun is a time of day when they're most active and feeding. And boy, this Joe Pyeweed has lots of little tiny pollinators. I see like little flies and little tiny sweat bees and hoverflies and all kinds of things, even a bumblebee or two. All of these Joe Pyeweed species tend to like moist soil. Great addition to your garden as well if you're interested in attracting pollinating insects. Let's go see what else we can find. Here's another native plant that's pretty in pink, only found in wetlands. This one is swamp loosestrife, and it may sound familiar to another plant you've heard of called purple loosestrife, which is not native, considered invasive in the Great Lakes region, because when it gets into wetlands, it crowds out our native plants. But swamp loosestrife and its beautiful pink flowers on arching stems is great for bumblebees and lots of smaller pollinators as well. The bumblebees are able to kind of land on these stems and then reach into the flowers. Little tiny insects literally have to crawl inside these somewhat tubular flowers to reach the reward inside. So why is it important to have native plants in our landscape, in our natural areas as well? Our native insects and our native plants evolved together, and so they are co-evolved to support each other. And of course, our native insects are also food for our native songbirds. Without native plants, sometimes insects will feed on our non-native ornamentals, perhaps in our garden, but lots of research shows that the quality of the nectar or the pollen isn't the same. They may not be a host plant for the larva. So in essence, those are snack bars rather than supporting the whole ecosystem. So I love these pretty and pink pollinators, both the Joe Pyeweed and the swamp loosestrife. Lovely, lovely welcoming sight in a wetland near you. Remember, you can find your own outdoor elements when you visit area parks and natural areas. We'll see you soon.